Hey there, this is the Weird-Al Podcast, where we talk about two of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al. And we're coming at you completely pre-recorded from a split-level cave 20 miles below the surface of the earth. And we are proud to be a member of the OddPods Media Network. So, let's just get on with this stupid show.
Hi, I'm Tina Jaramillo.
And I'm Hillary Doherty.
And we host the Muck Podcast, where we discuss the dark and sometimes weird true stories in American politics.
Hey, Tina, did you know that Elvis crashed the Nixon White House for the sole purpose of getting a DEA badge? And it worked?
What? Or how a gun control advocate senator out of California engaged in gun trafficking with notorious gang leader Shrimp Boy?
Shrimp Boy, I remember him. Okay, so, we cover all of that and more from maladies, madness, mischief, and murder in U.S. politics.
And we also host a bi-weekly interview segment called Lil Muck.
We interview politicians, journalists, activists, and others who share their experiences in politics.
Find the Muck Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts and check us out on social media at the Muck Podcast.
Hey, here comes the music.
Oh, hey! How are you doing? Have a seat. Have a drink. Boy, I can glad to see ya. Want to come Where's Lala?
Oh boy, people. It's time. It's time for the Weird-Al Podcast. That's right. This is the Weird-Al Podcast, and it's a podcast where we talk about two of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al. And this is a very special episode, and as I always say on these, my brother John is not here because he's not very special. So I have very special people on when I do these very special episodes, and this week I have Alex Jacob here to talk about Alapalooza. So first of all, Alex, how are you?
Hi, Lauren. Thanks for having me. I'm doing good.
Yes, this is very exciting. And for those that didn't look at the title of this episode, we are going through and ranking the tracks on Weird Al's masterpiece, Alapalooza. That's right. His epic follow-up to Off the Deep End, Alapalooza, came out in 1993. It's a really fun, weird album.
It's a good album, right? It is a masterpiece, right?
It is an absolute masterpiece. Absolute masterpiece.
I think so.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we can kind of get into this as we get into the tracks, but man, critics did not care for this album at all. It received, quote, average to negative reviews kind of across the board, but that is pretty standard for a Weird Al offering at the time. But I think it aged well.
Yeah, I think so. That's strange. I guess I was too young to be aware of what critics were saying at the time that this came out.
Yeah, and I think to our benefit, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, before we get into all of this stuff, I will put some things in the show notes. But, Alex, for those people that don't know who you are, will you tell the audience of the Weird-Al Podcast who you are, what you do? And, if you want to, what qualifies you to talk about Weird Al in a Weird-Al podcast, that would be also fine.
Sure. I can try. Alex Jacob. Most people know me, if you would know me, from being on Jeopardy in 2015. I won the Tournament of Champions. And I was on the All-Stars tournament they had a couple years back as well. Just launched a trivia league this year called School of Trivia. So if anyone's into that, you can check that out at schooloftrivia.com. And what qualifies me to be on a Weird Al podcast? Well, I hope I qualify. I wouldn't say I'm the superest of super fans. I was into Weird Al as a kid. I feel like most nerdy kids were. Me being into trivia, there's somewhat of a tie-in there. You learn a lot of pop culture references from Weird Al, and I feel like many of the the original songs like on this album, for instance, I probably heard the Weird Al song first, and that's probably true for a lot of songs. That's probably a common experience for people our age. I'm thinking you're probably around the same age as me.
Yeah.
But I remember this I believe, this album in particular, I think was the first. I had no hesitation picking this one because this was the first album I had, I believe, and I'm pretty sure I had it on cassette tape, which is dating, myself a little bit, but I guess that is a fact. That's how old this album is. That's how old I am.
Well, it happens. It works. And what's been very interesting about me having guests on to talk about particular Weird Al albums is that most people tend to want to talk the most about the Weird Al album that was their first. And
Sure.
I kind of love that because I have the one that was my first, and it's not this one. But it's always interesting to see how the rankings, that I have for an album that wasn't my first one stack up against somebody who, like, this was the thing that opened the door into kind of the wonderful world of Al. As we have said a lot on the show, and actually you can see it behind me on this banner that I have, that Weird Al is not a phase. Weird Al is a lifestyle. So if you were a Weird Al fan at any point in your life, there's still a little bit of Weird Al inside you all the time. And you just carry that through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been enjoyed kind of living with this album since, I've had this project, this esteemed project tasked to me. And taking it very seriously, I assure you.
Well, good. We take things very seriously. We have spreadsheets over here.
Now, you were very clear in the communications that my rankings will now be the definitive ranking for all time for Alapalooza. That's correct, right? That's
That is
canon now after this podcast?
Right. Yeah. Once this airs, it will absolutely be canon. So before we jump into the rankings, though, since this is the Beard Al podcast and we talk about beer and Weird Al, I just very quickly want to say that I have decided to enjoy one of the heavy hitters from my fridge tonight. It's from Terrapin Beer Company in Athens, Georgia, and it's an IPA called Depth Perception. And because I went with that because it's like we're working off of our own perceptions of this album, so that's my tenuous connection here. But yeah, it's 9.1% alcohol by volume, so it's we're recording on a Monday night, and it's very late for me, so this is a very interesting beer to be drinking very late on a Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. So should I talk about mine here?
Absolutely.
I've got a from Toppling Goliath Brewing Company. And I don't know a ton about this beer, but I got it purely because it has a T-Rex on the can here. It's called King Sue. I guess it's named maybe after Sue the T-Rex that's in the Field Museum in Chicago. It's a double IPA. Should I read the description? This lusciously hazy double IPA gains its bold flavors of mango, orange, and pineapple from the use of the delicious Citra hop.
Yeah, see, you did that beautifully. And actually, you did a wonderful job with that, too, because it was probably a little over a year ago at this point. We did our episode on the song Jurassic Park, and my brother actually had King Sue on that episode.
Oh, wow.
So, well done. Well done. And yeah, it is from Sue, the T-Rex. And they named it that. And then I think you'll probably find somewhere on the can there is a mention of the Field Museum, because in order to use Sue and a T-Rex, there was a whole bit of a legal situation, so they have to mention it on there somewhere, or at least they did at one point.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's from Decorah, Iowa, it says.
Yep, that's a good beer. Yeah, well done. We're doing a good job. So, we are. I mean, look, we're professionals. I don't know what's going on.
5 stars.
Right, 5 stars. Yeah, please give 5-star reviews, please. Anyhow, I didn't even hit my button for this. You just have to hear this because we are so overwhelmed by all of this that I had to pop myself a beer. That's one of my favorite buttons.
There it is.
Yeah, I've got a whole Weird Al soundboard. It's grand. Anyway, let's jump into the rankings of Alapalooza. As we'll do on this, we're going to go off of Alex's list, starting from number 12 and working our way up to number 1. And as we go through your list, I will share where I have ranked that particular song, and we'll see how similar or how different our rankings are. And folks, if you are keeping track along at home and you have somehow decided to take it upon yourself to rank the tracks on Alapalooza from your least favorite to most favorite, see how you stack up against what we said. So without further ado, what is your number 12?
And right off the top, if you hate my picks, feel free to come at me Twitter, who is Alex Jacob. I'd be happy to hear people hating. No, just kidding. I actually have no idea if my picks will be kind of consensus or off the wall. I'm kind of haven't had my finger to the pulse in the fan community for a little while, so we'll see what happens. So we're starting off at number 12 here. We're ready to go. So I think this is obvious. Well, maybe not obvious. Achy Breaky Song is my number 12.
Okay.
I just feel like it's maybe a song that he wouldn't do today. It just struck me as very mean-spirited.
Yeah.
Just the entire premise of doing a song where kind of the singer is just singing about the song, how the song he himself is singing is bad. And, it's just kind of a list of kind of like of making fun of other artists, which is, and I probably wouldn't have felt this way at the time because, and it definitely, I understand like the 90s were a different time. It was very snarky. It was much different than today. At the same time, I do want to kind of like evaluate it from, my eyes today, and it just didn't hit me the right way. The farting and the burping like sound effects at the end, it just like almost felt like disrespectful. I don't know. There was almost just like a disrespectful tone to the whole proceedings.
Yeah, you're right on that too. And after the fact, Weird Al kind of felt the same way, and ultimately the proceeds for the single for that ended up going to charity because Weird Al felt so bad about how mean
really.
And we're not far off in that. I have Achy Breaky Song at number 11. So there's only one song that I like less on this album than Achy Breaky.
Gotcha, okay.
So yeah, we're doing pretty good so far.
Yeah. It's interesting, some of the artists that he, makes fun of in the song, I don't even feel like those choices held up. Like some of them are, Yoko Ono is kind of like a low-hanging fruit, but then, like the Bee Gees and like ABBA, like I don't feel like those choices held up to make fun of. Like I could maybe at the time.
Maybe at the time. Well, I mean, the Bee Gees and ABBA have both since had their own kind of renaissance.
Right. Yeah, so it's kind of different.
Yeah, let's not belabor Achy Breaky Song because I have a feeling we're going to talk more about the tracks as we get higher up the list. So, what is your number 11?
Okay, my number 11 is Harvey the Wonder Hamster. I don't know, I guess I don't have a huge attack. I guess, was this part of the Weird Al TV show? Is that where this is from?
Well, okay. Yes and no. The lore of Harvey the Wonder Hamster runs deep. Okay. Harvey the Wonder Hamster was a fixture on the Al TV bits that he did on MTV. And the fans at the time were clamoring for Harvey the Wonder Hamster to have his own theme. So that's why he put it on Alapalooza. And then 4 years later, in the year of our Lord 1997, when we had the Weird Al show, they did once again use Harvey the Wonder Hamster theme. So the Harvey the Wonder Hamster theme has a quite the lore to it, but I can get not liking it. I have it at number 6 because the lore runs deep and I see the hamster and all this. And
fair enough.
I'm also probably influenced by the fact that on the Strings Attached tour in 2019, I saw Weird Al do Harvey the Wonder Hamster with a full symphony orchestra, which will blow your mind.
Nice. I don't dislike it. I guess it just came to a point where, I don't want to penalize it but at a certain point, it's like a 20-second song, and I just didn't know how high I could justify putting it on. I mean, it's good for what it is. Maybe it's unfair of me to
don't second guess.
For like 45 seconds or a minute, I could, it's just so short that I just couldn't move it up higher for my rankings. But I understand. Is the premise like he's not really a wonder hamster because he's just a normal hamster? He just runs around at his wheel. Is that kind of the idea of it, or? That's
part of the idea of it. But when you actually get to the Weird Al show, he truly is a wonder hamster, and he does stunts and things like that. So
Gotcha.
you've got that whole thing going on with it. But I'm going to make sure I say this to both you and to the people listening. None of what happens here means we dislike any of these songs, because I feel like it's not humanly possible to dislike something Weird Al does. It's just like you like some things more than others.
I'm going to say I dislike Achy Breaky Song.
Okay, that's fair.
I'll go on record. No, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. But everything else I like.
Perfect. What's number 10?
My number 10, I had Traffic Jam.
Okay.
It's kind of like a fun mini game, just kind of looking at your face when I say the title. I just, it's, I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit of a bop. I understand it's like, it kind of sounds like Let's Go Crazy from Prince, and I think he does that well. And as a song, it's like not bad. I just felt like it wasn't like, I just didn't really feel like there was like a lot of attempt at like jokes there, and like the premise is kind of like, what if I was in a traffic jam? It's kind of, I mean, I could see the taking something that's mundane and like that being funny, just make the fact that you're making a song of that being funny. I don't know, for whatever reason, it didn't hit with me. It just kind of felt like, and the other thing I was thinking that like a lot of the problems that he was having could just be like avoided by like closing his windows. He's like carbon monoxide and like people talking on their cell phones. It's like, are you in your car? Like on the road? Like, can you close your window? I don't know.
That's a really good one. I have Traffic Jam at number 4.
Okay.
And I think, I get like everything you're saying. And this is not at number 4 because it's lyrically one of my favorite Weird Al songs. This is at number 4 because it's sonically one of my favorite Weird Al songs.
Yeah.
Because of the Prince of it all. And the fact that Weird Al tried for nearly a decade to have Prince give his blessing to parody something. And 1993 rolls around and Weird Al is just like, he's never going to let this happen. So I'm just going to do a style parody and call it a day. And so he got to whip out all those Prince tools that he'd been working on for such a long time. And I feel like he just dumped all of it into this. And so I feel like it's musically one of the best Weird Al tracks that you can tell what it's trying to do. And I think because it's musically so strong, he didn't have to be quite as punchy lyrically, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I mean, I should probably have come clean off the top that it may be partly that I'm not, as much of like a Prince fan. Not that I dislike Prince or anything, but I just like, he's not someone that I will go to and listen to his catalog. So, for that reason, I get like the bass song of Let's Go Crazy is just not one of my, go-to songs. So it's, to me, I think he did it well, as far as a sound alike, but I guess, as far as what I want to listen to, it didn't hit me that way. So I guess that's why it's low for me.
And totally fine, totally valid. And this is, I'm already loving this because, like, even though my rankings are different from yours thus far, I'm also getting everything that you're saying, and I can see exactly how. Because on another day, I could be exactly where you are.
Okay, cool. It's tough. This is tough. I feel my rankings were changing all over the place trying to make these. I mean, I envy you a little bit because I imagine you've done these, or these are kind of in the can, so to speak, and you just had to like pull them out of your notebook for today. But I'm sure it was a lot of agonizing to make those rankings.
Well, yes and no. A little bit like pulling back the curtain of the Weird Al podcast. One thing my brother John and I, one thing we did before we even started the show was go through all of the albums, rank the tracks on each album. And then John created what we call our Weird algorithm, where he made a master list of all of Weird Al's album tracks based off of those rankings that we did on the albums, weighted for like album stuff. There was a whole bunch of math that I don't understand. But anyway, we have our list from number 1 to 163 of how we collectively would rank Weird Al's entire catalog, right? And about a year into doing the show, we got to, I don't even remember what song it was, and we were both like, why is this song so low? Because after being so like deep in Weird Al stuff for such a long time, we disagreed with ourselves. And so we had to do a re-rank because we're like, our whole perception of this has changed. And so periodically we go back and just like re-rank stuff because the way we think about these things change. So yes, these are in the can for me, but this is not where they were when we started the show, and this is not where they will probably be 8 or 9 months from now.
Gotcha. So how old are these rankings? Like years?
No, this was within the last 8 or 10 months, I would say.
Nice. All right.
So, I'll shuffle like 1 or 2 around here and there. Like if I have a song that's really been hitting me lately, I'll just kind of do a little bit of it. But most of my big thinking is done. I like making the other people do their big thinking in advance of this. So I appreciate you doing the big thinking.
Yeah, it was very tough. Very tough.
Number 9. What is your number 9?
Okay, this might be another unpopular pick, but I have Young, Dumb, and Ugly at number 9. So obviously an AC/DC thing here, and I think it's like a pretty good hook. Like I'm all about just in music, listening to music in general, like a good hook for a song, and the chorus is pretty like, it's kind of a classic AC/DC type chorus, and it's it hits pretty good. I just didn't really, it maybe I'm just not getting what he's going for, but it just kind of, it seemed all over the place. I guess I'm just not really like totally understanding the premise. Like, okay, so they're young, dumb, and ugly. They're bragging. Like, I understand, like they're bragging about being badasses kind of, but they're not really doing badass things. Like, I understand that part of it, but then there's some parts where like, okay, they're not tipping enough, so they're just like jerks, but then they're also like toothpaste squeezing from the middle, so just doing like annoying things, but then they're like spelling words wrong, so they really are. It was just like I couldn't really wrap my head around like what exactly the premise of this song was. Like, it feels like there's something there. There's definitely an attempt, and there's like a swing there, and like there's some like lines that like are kind of funny in isolation, but just as a whole, I don't understand where he was trying to go with the song. And even the title, I feel like, doesn't necessarily match the lyrics totally.
Yeah. Oh, I get that for sure. And I feel like that's almost the AC/DC of it all, because what do AC/DC songs actually mean lyrically when you listen to them? What does it mean to be back in black?
Sure. No, I understand he's making fun of AC/DC, but like I expect, Weird Al to have like a take that's like, more like a focused. I don't know. I guess I didn't really understand. I guess I was trying to think of like, okay, what is the song? What is the premise of this song? And I couldn't formulate it in my head because it just seemed all over the place to me, I guess.
For sure. And we're not far off on this one. I actually have Young, Dumb, and Ugly at number 7. So,
gotcha.
For a lot of the same reasons. Although I will say, having had the common experience with this song, Young, Dumb, and Ugly was the perfect way for me to insult my little brother, because dumb and ugly. And nice. I will still do that to this very day. But to your point, Alapalooza, I think, suffers from polka party syndrome, which...
Interesting. Go on.
Little backstory for you on that is the album Polka Party 1986 was rushed, right? Because the record label wanted another Weird Al album. Okay. Because between 83 and 86, Weird Al put out an album every single year. Okay. And they wanted another one. So Polka Party came out, and you can tell that he was kind of rushed putting Polka Party together. It's got some really, really standout tracks on it, but it doesn't feel like it's up to the whole thing is really up to what Weird Al was capable of at that point. And this whole album, as much as I love a lot of the tracks on Alapalooza, it feels like the same thing because he just had that renaissance with Off the Deep End with the whole Smells Like Nirvana, right? And then within a year of that, this came out. And we didn't get another offering from Weird Al after Alapalooza until 1996. He took 3 years to put Bad Hair Day together after this.
Yeah.
You know?
Interesting.
So it's a lot of the timing and a lot of like, when we get to it at one point, there was actually a track on this that was left over from the Off the Deep End recording sessions.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and there's another track on this that is only on there because the particular artist that got parodied was the first one that called back and said, yeah, sure, you can do it. And that's why it's on there. So there's a lot of things that don't feel as nuanced as Weird Al is now or as he had the potential to be at the time. So I get that with this track too.
Well, let's be careful here because I thought we already decided this was a masterpiece.
It is a masterpiece.
I'm just kidding.
The fact that Weird Al can rush a masterpiece, I mean, like, we're judging masterpiece versus masterpieces. Is one masterpiecier than the other, perhaps?
No, yeah, I feel like I'm already like coming off very negative, but it's just a function of I feel like each song I announce is like, okay, this is the this is my last place song of all the songs that are left, so I feel like I have to justify why it's in last place of like all the remaining songs, right?
I mean, and I kind of like doing it that way. I feel like I wouldn't want to stop everyone doing something like this because it's
no, of course.
That it's all downhill from here. It's like, no, we're building up to it. We're getting to it. So we're on your number 8, right?
Number 8?
Number 8.
Yeah. I have Living in the Fridge at number 8.
Me too.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
I do like the bass Aerosmith song. Again, like just like a catchy hook, you know, and I think this was like one of those where like I heard Living in the Fridge and then I was like, oh, what is that? You know, and then I, checked out the Aerosmith song after that. Other than that, it's like, it's kind of, I don't know, just, again, I feel about it kind of like I said about Traffic Jam. It's a little bit of like a boring, kind of what if there was old food in the fridge type premise. I mean, there are some fun lines in there and stuff. I particularly like the woolly mammoth steak line. And like, obviously, like, I feel like it goes without saying, like with any song that's like a direct parody, that the technical side of it is like, performed, like it's like almost like an exact, it sounds like perfect, like the record. Like that part is very impressive to me. And I do like, him imitating the Steven Tyler vocal licks here and there, like the like the little things that he does there. But it also like, it kind of like feels like a song that like if he were to go back, like maybe he wouldn't have chosen this one to pair, just because like if you go on Spotify on Aerosmith, like you have to scroll down pretty far to get to Living on the Edge, right? It hasn't really held up as like a classic song.
Yeah.
So I feel like most people, even if you played it today, like wouldn't necessarily even know like what the original was. I guess not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know. I guess I feel I attach some value to like a song feeling like it should be parodied. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And this, I accidentally like teed this off perfectly because Living in the Fridge was on here. This was the last track recorded for this album, and Living on the Fridge is on here because of everybody that Weird Al reached out to that he could have parodied to fill this one last slot. Aerosmith was the first ones that called back and said, yeah, go for it. And I 100% agree with you that Living on the Edge, for what was going on with Aerosmith at the time, probably not the one that Al would have picked in retrospect. But you also have to remember that once he received permission to do so, Weird Al still parodied "Ruthless People" by Mick Jagger, even though that was terrible. But he was like,
Great film, though. Great film, though.
Great film, not a great song. Not a great song.
Right.
So it's great. What?
Yeah, I mean, this one, it kind of like, you watch The Office? It kind of reminded me of like a Michael Scott like parody song, like, well, living on the edge, living in the fridge, like about old food. I don't know. It just kind of felt lazy to me. I mean, I guess given the premise, like he executes it okay, and I like, like I said, I like the song, so I don't mind playing it, which is why I don't have it like lower. But anyway, I don't mean, like I said, I don't mean to sound super. I like the song.
Oh no, I mean, like I said, I love that you're taking this album that you really enjoyed as a kid and are looking at it with the lens of like, well, but also Weird Al will look at a lot of this stuff in the same way too, because Weird Al keeps getting better and better and better and more nuanced. Mm-hmm. Something like Living in the Fridge is low-hanging fruit that he wouldn't necessarily grab today, right?
Yeah. So, I hear you. It's also like, maybe he wouldn't choose to like mock a song that's kind of like has like a message that's kind of like, racial equality or whatever, that's kind of like the living on, this part is like, if you could tell a wise man, and he turns it into a fridge song, maybe he wouldn't, choose that now. But anyway, it's a fun song. Like I said, it's I like the hook and.
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, stylistically, he does it perfectly, and there's a lot of fun little musical bits in there that, if you really listen for them, it's a lot of fun. So,
some good Weird Al sound effects, some monster food sound effects in the middle there. I like a good Weird Al sound effect.
You can't go wrong with it. Weird Al. Yeah, they're the best. What do you have at number 7?
Okay. Number 7, I have Bohemian Polka.
Okay.
And this is a tough. I wasn't sure exactly what to do with this because it's kind of, as far as how to rank the polka versus everything else. I guess it's just very dependent on how you feel about polka and Weird Al's polkas, I guess. And I guess I actually really like this one, and I like the fact that it's just obviously most of them are like mashups of a million different songs. I like that this is just focused on one song, and I feel like this is maybe like one of the best songs, the funniest songs you could do in this style, just because it's like so serious and intense. At least part of it, and he's singing lyrics like I don't want to die, I wish I'd never been born at all, and he's singing at this like breakneck speed, and it's just I find that juxtaposition funny, and just the idea of doing Bohemian Rhapsody as a polka. Now I'm guessing, and you could probably fill me in on this, that this was like some kind of tie-in with like the movie Wayne's World.
100%.
Yeah. So it's like a little bit of a cash grab there, but like, that's okay. I still think, maybe he wouldn't have done it if not for that, but I still think the idea of doing Bohemian Rhapsody as a polka was a good idea and funny. And like, I find it funnier listening to this than just him doing a bunch of different songs where it's just like, oh, I know that lyric. I know that lyric. Like this is kind of like a story song, and yet just the way it's, performed just like so humorously and the real song, the Anyway the Wind Blows being like such like a wistful like ending to the part of the real song, and then obviously turns it into like Anyway the Wind. I enjoy it. I guess for a song that he's just taking the lyrics of an existing song and the melody is kind of just I couldn't put it much higher, even though I like it, I guess.
That's totally fair. Do you remember when you had Achy Breaky Song at number 12, and I said I had one song that I like less than Achy Breaky Song?
This is your wow.
And I will tell you why. I love Weird Al polkas so much. I feel like I get what you're saying about like this being a really crazy juxtaposition, because it totally is. I just feel like Weird Al polkas are tighter when the source material is more varied, because the part of the charm for a Weird Al polka for me is the transitions. And I get that this song has some transitions built into it, but you know they're coming. You know, whereas when you get a Weird Al polka that is a medley of a bunch of different songs, like you get the transition from dope show to mbop, like you don't get that in something like this, you know?
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
I will say every Weird Al polka up until 1996 ends with an original Weird Al polka bit called the Earbooker polka, which is the anyway, the win, anyway, the win, anyway, the win.
Right.
So every other Weird Al polka that ends with the Earbooker polka, my brain does the anyway, the wind, anyway, the wind, anyway, the wind blows. Hey, even though it's not said on any other one, my brain still makes that anyway, the wind blows. So
what did you call that? The Earbooker polka?
Yes, it's the Earbooker polka.
What is that? That's the original song that did that kind of riff?
Yep. Yeah, it's just basically it's a polka bit that Weird Al wrote to close the polka medleys.
Oh, okay, he wrote it. Okay, cool.
And so he did that from the polka that was on in 3D, which was Polkas on 45, all the way through
right.
Every other polka.
Yeah, I know they usually end with that. Yeah.
Yeah, but after that, after the alternative polka in 96, the polkas end with slightly different Weird Al polka endings. And so if you look at the liner notes for any album, they'll say something different. So like the Polka Power from Running with Scissors in 99 ends with the WAY Moby polka, the Way Moby polka. You can tell that it's still a polka and it's still a polka ending, but it's not the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da that he usually does. So yeah, it's been fun seeing him play and evolve with the polkas as time goes on. But, you know, if Bohemian Polka does nothing else, it gives me words to the end of all the other polkas where words don't exist.
Right.
Oh, gosh. Oh, we're on number 6.
I have Bedrock Anthem at number 6.
Okay.
I like the Chili Peppers. I like the Chili Pepper songs. It's a little weird that it's 2 of them, but I don't totally mind it. I guess similar to living in the fridge, excuse me. It felt a little bit like an assignment to me. Like this is a bit of a theme, I guess, for this one. I assumed that there was a tie into like the Flintstones movie here, right? And but like that's fine. I guess in terms of the lyrics and the premise of it, I didn't really feel like he hit it like out of the park. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some fun lines in there for sure. I really like wear a loincloth natural fiber, be the first Rolling Stone subscriber, got a pterodactyl for a windshield wiper. That's probably my favorite lines in the song. It kind of felt like he was just kind of describing the Flintstones a little bit. It didn't really feel like he had a take. It felt like kind of an assignment, which maybe it was, which is fine. I don't begrudge him at all.
Yeah.
But there was some stuff that just felt, I'm just listening to it, kind of like the carbon monoxide thing that I said. It felt a little lazy, like, we drink a little vino, like, do the Flintstones drink? Is that canon?
No.
Is that Flintstones canon? It just felt like, okay, he had Dino and he needed a rhyme, so he said vino. And I know the line in the real song is drink a little water or whatever from Give It Away. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of felt like that's nitpicking like an individual lyric, I guess, which is kind of like maybe a little harsh. But
oh no,
it just kind of illustrates what I'm saying, that like I didn't feel like he totally like it. It makes sense to me that someone came to him with a bag of cash and said, write a song about the Flintstones, versus like he had like this, like, I have a great take on the Flintstones and I'm going to write a song about them. You know what I mean?
I get it 100%. And we're not far off on this one either. I have Bedrock Anthem at number 5. And I have Bedrock Anthem at number 5, not because I like either Chili Pepper song all that much. I have Bedrock Anthem at number 5 for a couple very personal reasons. The first time I saw Weird Al in 1999, I was in the front row, and he did Bedrock Anthem, and I saw the polka dot underwear that he had on under the Fred Flintstone outfit when he performed the song. I was like, oh my God, I can see Weird Al's underwear from here. Reason number 2, Barney Rubble, what a little wiener. And my favorite line in this song is, got a baby elephant vacuum cleaner. I don't well, yes, obviously, but it's just so I did this song at karaoke a couple of weeks ago, and nobody knew what to do, but I did it. I took it very seriously. I love it. I did it how I was supposed to do it, but like it started with Under the Bridge, and people were like, is this chick gonna do Under the Bridge? And I'm like,
Right.
I am not.
That probably happens too a lot. That's funny.
It's a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah. So is he kind of doing like a caveman voice on the song or something, like a Fred Flintstone's voice a little bit? Is that what it is, or is it supposed to be like is it supposed to be an Anthony Kiedis voice?
Maybe. Why not both?
Yeah, a little bit of both. There was like a little bit of an affectation there. I don't know. It didn't 100% hit with me, but I do have it in the top half. Yeah, in the top half.
Number 6.
And maybe that speaks to just that I like the Chili Pepper songs. I guess particularly maybe Under the Bridge a little more than Give It Away. I guess it kind of felt like he had the idea that like, Anthony Kiedis kind of mumbles on Give It Away. So that kind of sounds like Yabba Dabba Doo. Maybe that's where it came from.
Maybe. I mean, he is fresh off the heels of Smells Like Nirvana, and it's hard to bargain in all over the house with all these marbles in my mouth.
Right. So. You know what? It might have been the video for Give It Away too. That's kind of caveman-ish, right? They're kind of like primitive in that video.
I guess the time period was the perfect storm for this to happen the way that it happened. We'll let it happen. What do you have at number 5? Because Bedrock Anthem was my number 5.
Okay. I have She Never Told Me She Was a Mime.
Right on.
Number 5. That might be a little low. I don't know. I see your face there. This is tough. I really like all these top 5 songs on my list. I really enjoy the premise of this song. And I guess I keep saying that word, and I'm going to unveil this now, that I had this master plan of evaluating these songs with this whole number system, kind of like you were saying you did with your brother, but I scrapped it. But it was involving the 4 P's of premise, parody/pastiche, overall playability, and phrasing or lyrics. So those are the 4 P's of Weird Al. So I was like, I'm going to rate these from 1 to 10. Then I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that or start reading off numbers on the podcast. So I scrapped that whole plan. But anyway, I really enjoy the premise of this song, except for the fact that is making fun of mimes. Is that a little bit low hanging fruit, hacky? I'm not sure about that. But you know what? I feel like maybe even it ages well today, because I feel like it was more of a hacky thing when I was a kid. I feel like making fun of mimes was really low hanging fruit back then, but you don't hear about it as much anymore. So it's almost is more fresh now.
I don't. You're right though. I feel like making fun of mimes, feeling like quicksand was going to be much more of a problem than it actually is, and things of that ilk,
right,
are a bigger deal.
Everyone's eating lobster thermidor, and people are saying, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" No one ever says that.
No one ever says that. My mom still says that. If she agrees with something, she'll say, "Oh, I'm jiggy with that." She will still say that.
Oh, nice. Getting jiggy with it?
Yes. She's like, I am jiggy. I am jiggy. She will say. She Never Told Me She Was a Mime at number 3, so we're not that far off on that, because I agree with you. It's a bop. The premise is super fun. And I feel like it's a really good, solid rock riff. It's a good original rock riff. And if it weren't these lyrics, this could have been like a regular old hit song, like not a big hit,
Yeah,
but a hit.
yeah. It does kind of feel like if you told me like, oh yeah, that's a parody of like this song that was a big hit, I would believe it.
Mm-hmm.
If I liked that kind of music more, I feel like I would maybe have it higher. But I as far as like the playability of it, as far as that part of it, it doesn't hit me as well. So you'd say is it supposed to be like kind of like a style parody of Kiss? Would you say?
I read that somewhere. I don't hear that in my mind. This
Yeah, because I don't really associate Kiss with like horns and keyboard as much.
No.
Maybe they have them in some songs, but like, yeah. So I'm not sure exactly. It doesn't. It's not as precise a style parody to me. Like there are certain other style parody, like we said, like Traffic Jam is like clearly Prince.
Mm-hmm. This doesn't feel like much of anything in particular. I've heard the Kiss thing, and I'm almost like, no. This just feels like a straight up Weird Al original, and there are those that exist out there in the wild that's just like, nope, I'm just going to write this song. And the one thing that always makes me chuckle was she never told me she was a mime. Like, no, it seems like she's a mime all the time, just in like everyday life. So she couldn't tell him, could she?
Right. That is a good part of it. Just like the title itself is kind of like a joke in itself. Yeah.
Super
I enjoy that part of it. I enjoy also carries around a picture of Marcel. That's a good reference.
Sings that line too. Marcel. I just love
right. She was the quiet type. Right. How was I to know?
So good.
Yeah. That's definitely a good part of it. Yeah, I like the song. This was tough. I mean, this top 5 could have been arranged a different way on another day, but this is where I had it here. Maybe just because, kind of like Prince, I don't go back to this kind of music that much, and I like the premise a lot more than the Traffic Jam songs. So that's why I have it higher.
That's totally fair. Totally fair. This is very interesting because we're down to your top 4, and what I still have available on my list is number 1, number 2, number 9, and number 10.
Oh boy!
And here's the thing: I am looking.
So this could go really good or really ugly here.
No, and I'm even looking at what I have at 9 and 10, and again, on another day, either one of these could have been much higher. In fact,
okay, you don't have to lie. It's okay. They're 9 and 10. You don't have to. You don't have to.
No, I was.
You don't have to make you feel better.
I'm not even trying to make you feel better. I was working earlier today, and apparently there were other things going on in my house, and it was like, did you hear what just happened? I was like, no, I'm sorry. I was listening to insert song here, and it's not track 1 or 2 because I was so engrossed in this particular song that I have down lower on my list. But again, if I were to redo this, at least one of these 2 would move much higher than it is right now. But again, this is all subjective and all like very in the moment. So what is your number 4?
Okay. Well, I mean, I think I probably have a decent idea of what your 1 and 2 might be, but we won't talk about that. My number 4, and this is tough because I do like this song, but I have Waffle King at number 4. And I know this is probably, I imagine this is not, this is obviously not one of Weird Al's biggest remembered hits. I just really enjoy the premise of the song. Obviously it's a Peter Gabriel cover. I do like Peter Gabriel. I like his music. But I like, it seems to be, when I was listening to it, I was thinking Peter Gabriel's songs, especially a couple of his hits that sound like Waffle King, Sledgehammer, and Big Time. They're very much like, I'm the big time, I'm your Sledgehammer, I'm the best, right? Kind of. And Waffle King starts out like that, and it continues like that. But I really enjoy the twist of just the singer getting kind of more arrogant as the song goes on, and it becomes it doesn't become like, I'm the best, you're gonna fall in love with me, and great things. It becomes like, get out of my way, peons.
Yeah.
Listen, pal, like, don't you know who I am? And just, I just really enjoy the specificity of the waffle, like the best waffle recipe is like, it's like such a random like thing that you would pick to be like bragging about being the best. I don't know. This one just really hit for me. I would have it higher probably, except I don't love the hook of the song. As far as like a song, I really love the premise of it, but as far as the hook is kind of, what is it? It's kind of like a wah 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 waffle king. Yeah, I don't know. I don't love it as a song, even though I enjoy the Peter Gabriel songs that it's kind of a sound alike of. So that's where I am on this. I just really absurd premise, and it just really tickled me. The way he gets progressively more asshole-ish as the song continues.
It really does. And this is the song I was like earlier today. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I was busy listening to Waffle King.
Yeah.
Got deeply engrossed in Waffle King today, and I was like, man, I had already like written my rankings down, and I did it in pen, and I was like, I'm not moving it now. But if I had to move things around, Waffle King would be higher than the number 9 that I have it at the moment. But I love Waffle King. I love Peter Gabriel, and you're like exactly right. The premise of this is fabulous. It's one of the things that Weird Al does so perfectly when he takes something that's incredibly mundane and blows it up into this big, like, grandiose kind of thing. And I think it's absolutely fabulous. And it is a spot-on style parody of what Peter Gabriel was doing. And fun fact, this was the holdover from the Off the Deep End recording sessions. So this was the first thing recorded for Alapalooza because it was recorded in 1990.
That makes sense. So I guess Peter Gabriel, that album with Sledgehammer, and it would have been more recent at that time.
Yeah, and the reason Waffle King got held over until Alapalooza was because Weird Al wanted to put "I Was Only Kidding" on Off the Deep End, and he figured that the references that song was making might not have as long of a shelf life as the references Waffle King was making. So he was like, Waffle King can wait. But Waffle King was actually the B-side to Smells Like Nirvana.
Really?
Yeah, that was from the album before this. And it was for the reason it was like, well, just in case there's not another album, we'll just put this on the B-side. And then here it is now.
Makes sense.
Making your top 4.
It could have been a little higher if the hook was better, if the song was maybe a little better for me musically, if the lyrics were just it hit a little more. Like, I love if there was just like one or two more, I could see it like really making a jump, because I really do love the idea of it. Hey, batter, I kind of like that as a pun.
I mean, the puns are never ending.
Here. Yeah, I just really enjoy how it gets so ridiculous at the end. Like, can't you tell the universe revolves around me? Don't you know you suckers owe me everything? I'm the highest form of life that there could ever be. Yeah.
He makes waffles, though. Oh, my God.
Right.
Oh,
so anyway, I like that one. It was only number 4, though.
I know. Good.
We're getting higher, but...
Well,
okay.
Anything could have been higher. Anything could have been lower, but we're in your top 3. So what do you got at number 3? This will be interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I have Jurassic Park here at top 3, at number 3. Obviously a classic, done really well. I actually I kind of think it's really, he took a number 1 song in MacArthur Park and kind of made a better song than MacArthur Park is. Like, I would rather listen to Jurassic Park than MacArthur Park.
This is about something. What is MacArthur Park about?
Right. I feel like Weird Al sounds really good on the track. like he just nails that. Oh no, like even like probably better than Dumbledore does, Richard Harris. Um, the original Dumbledore is saying that song.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Saying MacArthur Park, but yeah, I don't know. And I was like, I'm gonna listen to MacArthur Park just to see how it holds up, and I feel like Jurassic Park is better. Like he's in MacArthur Park, he's like, oh no, it's just so frail sounding, and Al really nails it. He really does nail that. Oh no, it's just beautiful, and more than that, I feel like it's like kind of written perfectly. Like it's also like similar to the Flintstones, like obviously Jurassic Park was huge. Obviously he decided, there's a little bit of that aspect to it of clearly like Jurassic Park was huge and someone said to him, oh, do MacArthur Park, Jurassic Park. And he did it. So, but I feel like it's unlike the Flintstones, unlike Bedrock Anthem, I feel like he executes it really well. It's written really well. There's just so many good lines. Again, like the overall premise that he's kind of like downplaying the experience. Getting disemboweled always makes me kind of mad is like such a great line. This has really been one lousy day, it's really crummy trip, all that stuff is really good. And, it kind of cuts out like the boring, like minutes long crap in MacArthur Park. It kind of I feel like he took a number one song and made it better, but I couldn't get it any higher than this because I really like the other two songs. Yeah, I mean, this is really like a perfectly written song for what it is. The only thing I might have like a tiny quibble with, the final line or the final lines don't hit me so great. It doesn't hold up so well because it's kind of an outdated reference, I guess. So it's maybe unfair to judge it like that. It sure ain't no e-ticket. I guess is that like a Disney World thing or something? Is that like a fast pass? I'm not sure what I guess it means, I feel like he didn't necessarily hit the ending line, but every other line in the song is like really like beautiful and perfectly executed. So I do really enjoy this song.
I agree with you. I have Jurassic Park at number 2. I think it's beautiful. I think he did a great job with it. And, as far as hitting the oh no's, I think Weird Al had the benefit of the lens of the Donna Summer version to hit the oh no.
Gotcha. I should have listened to that one before this.
Yeah. Well, no, you don't have to. Jurassic Park is still better. But yeah, this song was the second in a merry tradition that Weird Al kind of created for himself of taking quote unquote classic songs and basically describing movies to them, right? Because it started with Yoda, then he did Jurassic Park, then he did The Saga Begins, and then he did Spider-Man with Ode to a Superhero with Piano Man, So this is a thing that Weird Al does. And this is one of my favorite Weird Al tropes because it means that sometimes I don't have to watch a movie that I don't want to see. Like I tell people, if you're going to go through all of the Star Wars, if you happen to want to, Star Wars yourself, skip the Phantom Menace, listen to, The Saga Begins, and then move on.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the Weird Al show that I went to as a kid was the Saga Begins tour with my brother and mom. I don't remember much about it other than it was a great show, but yeah.
Yeah, I saw that tour too. Yeah, because Running with Scissors, it was either 99 or 2000, right? When he would have
right, Running with Scissors, right?
In support of that album. Yeah, I have the T-shirt. So it's my oldest T-shirt. That T-shirt is like 23 years old now, so I don't wear it super often. But when I pull it out, I was like, man, this shirt could drink now if it wanted to.
Right. Anyways,
number 2.
Number 2, and this was a little tough, but not that tough really, because number 1, I felt like had to be number 1. But I do really love this song enough that I bumped it ahead of Jurassic Park at the last minute. just because I kept going back to this song, and it's Talk Soup. That's my number 2.
That's fair. I have to dispel any, I'm going to remove all suspense right now. Talk Soup is my number 10. So we do have the same number 1, which I feel very good about.
When we had our, the 4 songs that we had left, and you said you had 1, 2, and 9, 10. I mean, believe me, there was no doubt in my mind which 2 you had number 1 and 2, and which 2 you had 9, 10. That much I know. I may not be tapped into the superfan community, but I figured which 2 would be number 1 and number 2. But anyway, Talk Soup, it's kind of another sound like a Peter Gabriel, and maybe not as direct. I mean, in Waffle King, he puts that little sledgehammer sound right at the beginning to really let you know that it's definitely Peter Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it kind of still sounds like it a lot. I just feel like it's kind of a prescient song of like everyone wanting to be on TV for, it's for the time of early 90s. It kind of almost describes the reality TV landscape now, where there's kind of a show for, hoarder, any type of different. The other thing is in the song, I enjoy how the list, it's kind of like a laundry list of different, types of people that would want to be on TV, but they're all kind of like so absurd that it doesn't really feel like he's kind of like punching down to a specific group. It almost feels like it's just, you're able to have fun with it because there's not really like, okay, he's really going after people who yodel in the nude, people who sell their kids for cheese, No, but I just feel like it's written well. I enjoy the list of different people that he comes up with.
Yeah, it's great. And actually, it's so funny because as you were going through a lot of the things on this, a lot of it felt like an assignment. This was an assignment.
Yeah, for sure. I'm surprised. So how did that not get chosen? That's the other thing I was going to say, because I could totally picture it as like the theme song for Talk Soup.
Right. I mean, he was asked to do it. He did it, and they were like, well, no, never mind. And I don't get it. I feel like it would have been...
So you agree with that, huh? I mean, again, it's just like great hook. Just like, I think it's a great song. Like I'm surprised that I guess I should have looked up, like, what did they go with? Have you ever looked up, like, what is the Talk Soup theme song? Because what did they choose over this? Because, like, this is, like, really, what more could you ask for?
I don't know. And, I mean, we could look it up if you want to, because that would use one of my other favorite buttons, which is,
wait a minute, I'll go check.
No, but we don't have to look it up. People, you can look it up on your own. What did they even use for Talk Soup? Who cares? It wasn't Weird Al, so I don't care.
No, I mean, I'm sure, they probably only had a 10-second jingle or whatever. But still, like, even if they just took the 10 seconds of Talk Soup, I feel like...
Talk Soup. That would have been fine.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great hook. I mean, I don't understand it. But I just think it's a great song. I mean, not the most like off the wall, like it's not an off the wall premise, kind of like Waffle King, like something you would never come up with. But at the same time, it kind of like it was a little ahead of its time. It would seem like almost obvious coming out now, but like it kind of predicted what reality TV would be. I mean.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I mean, it's nuts. Yeah, it's a good song. I mean, I don't even like that I have it at number 10 because it is super catchy. Basically, other than Achy Breaky Song and Bohemian Polka, the rest of it is just like a crapshoot until you get up to the top, where that is 100% where I would have Jurassic Park and our mutual number 1.
It had to be.
Thanks.
Frank. It had to be. Thanks. 2000-inch TV, of course. I mean, this is really what I was thinking when we were talking at the beginning about Traffic Jam, and you said, I agree with you. It's not like maybe necessarily the catch, the snappiest premise, but I just love Prince and I love the song musically, and that's kind of this for me. I mean, it's not like a bad premise. Like I kind of enjoy like, the earnest, very earnest singer, but he's singing about a big ass TV, right? And, it's kind of like early REM, like, normally singing about, very wholesome, like shiny, happy people types.
It's perfect. Yeah. This song is so great. It is
So good.
A big Weird Al fan favorite kind of song. I can't
Right.
Robert De Niro anymore without.
Right.
But man, that mole's got to be 10 feet wide.
Right. Living with this album, knowing that I was going to do the show, this is the one that you come back to. I mean, this is looking at the track list. So, Frank's 2000-ish TV. I mean, this is definitely, as far as like playability, I would say by far my favorite. Maybe it's not like as great a premise or a parody of anything. I mean, it's kind of supposed to be REM, would you say, or is kind of a mix of just that kind of band from?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely REM, which is why REM hits the weird Weird Al trifecta by appearing in a polka, having a direct parody, and also being the focus of a pastiche. So they've got the triple P, the polka parody pastiche.
Wow.
We've got spreadsheets.
Very nice. Very nice. How do you know off the top of your head how many artists have the triple P?
I think REM is the.
I'll put you on the spot.
No, I'm pretty sure REM is the only one.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, REM I think is the only one for the triple P. Mick Jagger has appeared in more polkas than anybody, and that's even before you count for the Hot Rocks polka. He was on every polka until I think he was in like the first 4 polkas, either as part of the Rolling Stones or by himself, which is crazy. So,
really,
yeah, we didn't have a Mick Jaggerless Weird Al polka until the 90s.
Wow. I should have listened to some of the other polkas. It would be interesting to compare them to Bohemian polka. I haven't like gone back to them in a little while, and I wonder if my take on Bohemian polka would change if I went back to the other polkas.
It might. I mean, and if you're feeling like really fancy, we did a March Madness style bracket of all the Weird Al polkas.
Oh yeah,
yeah, in March of 2021. So yeah, not this past March, but the March before. It was wild. It didn't even end the way we thought it was going to end. So
I'll have to check that out. I resisted the temptation I assume that you had gone and ranked this album on the podcast at some point, but I resisted the temptation to check it out so I could come in with my own fresh rankings. But yeah, I mean, Frank 2000 HTV, I'm not sure what there's to say.
it's great.
90,000 watts of Dolby sound.
Yeah.
Just
that music so Dolby's like you can hear the Dolby
right
in that.
Right. And I guess the beginning, I enjoy the opening line, the opening lines of just how it starts. Dwarfs the mighty redwoods, kind of just sets the tone for the song. Kind of sets the tone for the premise and kind of what Al's going for there. Anyway, Frank's 2000 had to be number one.
It had to be number one, and for as much disparity as there was throughout the middle, I feel like as long as we agree on what the best track on this album is, I think everybody is going to be fine with all of this. So
is that pretty common that you have the same number one?
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, that happens. I mean, if not, 1 and 2 are kind of interchangeable. It's not hard to agree on like what objectively the best track on a Weird Al album is. Now I'm going to say this, and then the next one I do is going to be completely insane. But I guess we'll find out. Who knows? But anyway, this was fabulous. Alex, thank you for being on the Weird Al podcast to rank Alapalooza.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It was really fun.
Hooray! So, you mentioned some stuff at the beginning that you want to mention here again that people can go ahead and check out.
Sure. If you're into Trivia League, this basically works like a newsletter. So 5 questions to your email every Monday through Friday. And it's $8 a month. If you want to check it out, it's at schooloftrivia.com. All the info is there to sign up. And you can follow me on Twitter at whoisalexjacob.
Perfect. I love it.
Let me know how bad my picks were.
Oh, no, well, you know, he's inviting you to come at him, bro. So if you'd like...
Absolutely. I would love that. I would love nothing more. You know, I had a feeling that, you know, Frank's would be an okay, would be kind of an accepted pick at number one. But, you know, as much as I would love to kind of have like a really hot take at number one, I couldn't move Talk Soup up to number one. I had to have Frank's there.
Yeah. I mean, you did the right thing. You absolutely did the right thing.
So, thank you.
Yeah, totally.
We established this, that my rankings are the definitive Weird-al-Apalooza rankings now. So Talk Soup is number 2, even though you had it at number 9. Was it 9 or 10?
10. And I had Talk Soup. Yeah.
It's up to number 2 now.
Yeah, well,
that's the new canon. We have to adjust to that.
Okay. Well, people, you know, if you have his canon, we'll do that. But I'm gonna hit my theme song here, and we'll come at you again next time, people. Thank you so much. Bye. And now we just boogie.
Sorry, I got a run. I got a pencil again.